So the Dallas Cowboys traveled out west to battle their former division mates. With wind in their sails and the national media behind them, the boys were favored in a stadium that's been their house of horrors. However, before the game even kicked off, a series of bad news hit America's team. Trayvon Diggs out for the season, and now three offensive linemen unavailable for the contest. The bad luck carried into the game as the Cards led 18-10 nearing halftime. The Cowboys needed a nice 2-minute drive to grab momentum, but Lady Luck, or maybe the refs, had other ideas and flagged CD Lamb for offensive pass interference, killing the drive but not the clock. With the remaining time left, the Cards converted a 62-yard field goal, making it a two-score game. It was hardly a shock, but what was a shock was the Cowboys' defense, who were suddenly suffering from a terrible case of amnesia. Indeed, they forgot how good they were and reverted to the days of Mike Nolan, surrendering 182 yards on the ground in one half. The second half started well as the amnesia wore off, but the Cowboys replaced their forgetfulness with greed. It began with McCarthy getting greedy on fourth down, costing the boys points and time. Then it was the defense's turn to get greedy by blowing a coverage, which led to a Cardinals touchdown. With hope dwindling away, the final moment of greed came from Dakota Rain, who pressed on third and goal and threw a horrific pick. Game over. Perhaps the boys weren't as forgetful as they remembered to perform poorly with all eyes watching. All right, so a couple stats that I mentioned there. The 182 rushing yards given up in the first half, and also the amount of penalties that occurred in the first half. But I also said that it wasn't shocking because it's week 3. Nobody's tanking. I don't care who you are and how low your predictions are. You're still an NFL team, and even if you can't name a player in Arizona, they're going to be trying. So the Cowboys trailing at halftime wasn't too big of a news. Wasn't too surprising to me. And like I said, 182 yards rushing given up. To me, it didn't really bother me because it was a one-score game until that 62-yarder, and they kind of rightened the ship until that crucial play they gave up by blowing the coverage. With all that being said, people's heads are falling off regarding the Cowboys' defensive performance. I think it's overblown.
So I will say penalties. We had double the penalties this last game than what we had done the game previous. With like 13, I think it was, split near even between the offense and the defense. You have 3 offensive linemen missing. You can't stop the run. It's not like – I don't think you're going to have games where you're going to commit that many penalties, especially when you have the other 3 offensive linemen back. That will definitely help. And then as far as the run defense, I do have a bit of a concern with. Just the way that Arizona – it was hat on a hat on every play. They blocked perfectly. And I'm not saying every team can run block like that, but it's not like Arizona's the cream of the crop at run blocking. And so that does give me some worry, but I don't think that the performance we saw is something we're going to get used to.
Justin, was it a case of Arizona just wanted it more and they had their helmets screwed on tighter and they had bigger pads and they were ready to lay the lumber?
You know how as every person that, just apparently just hates the Cowboys in this city. Man, they just got their ass whooped. Blah 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 blah. Even though it's like
who's this?
Even though it's like a one possession game, the whole game. But nonetheless, like I feel like the running game or the stopping the run issues. To your point, Ian, the key word is greed. I saw way too many players chasing stats rather than doing jobs. See, if you're gonna be going out there chasing stats, you're gonna be looking for a job here soon. No, I'm kidding, but. I saw
sponsored by it. Never mind.
Indeed, but the fact of the matter is, the DN can't go flying up the field, can't be chasing a running back on a read option, and like obviously, everyone's gonna point to they got Jalen Hurts in their division. That's another dual threat quarterback. I mean. correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Josh Dobbs is a lot faster than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts don't really move the needle speed wise to me, but nonetheless, you can't be the first play of the game when you got a mobile quarterback there, which they played last year too. So it's not like this is a new opponent as far as the quarterback is concerned. You can't be flying in to the running back. Oh, I got to make a play right now in the backfield, first play of the game, Micah, when your job is to get the quarterback on a read option. Like, that's elementary stuff. He knows it. Everyone else knows it. On the whatchamacallit, Rondell Moore touchdown. Why is Sam Williams flying up the field? And correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't that like 3rd and 2 as well?
I don't remember the
I don't
down
know.
distance.
Regardless, I know it was short yards, so it's not like you're gonna get it. Why are you trying? Why are you chasing a sack that just opens up the floodgate? Obviously, there's some problems with the alignment. I feel like with the D line to begin with, but you make the hole even bigger by flying up the field for a sack that you're not gonna get in that down and distance. I feel like.
Yeah, it did seem like communication was a problem. Early on, looked like the heads were moving back and forth as they were trying to relay. I don't know their scheme early on. I don't know have any insight on that. I think Dan Quinn has given his interviews already regarding that game and kind of mentioned what Justin talked about of being disciplined because like way too much in the first half. We just saw players shooting up fields like Justin talked about, and it was pretty frustrating. But I know I said 182 yards ain't that big of a deal if it's only it was barely a 2-score game thanks to a 62-yard field goal. But the defense definitely deserves most of the blame for, I guess, the result. But be that as it may,
Oh,
a lot of people are.
It was 2nd and 2, even more so. What you think you're gonna get a sack on 2nd and 2? What do you think they're gonna pass the ball? I'm saying, man, like the team literally to that point was just showing you, hey, we're comfortable running the ball because we feel like we can do it and we feel like it's going to be easy, not easy money. This isn't Orlando Brown, but they feel as though they felt like this was the best way to win this game, which it was. So why? Let me look at this. I think this was why on the 3rd possession of the game are you still chasing sacks for a game that probably isn't going to allow you to get 5 sacks a game like you were able to these past couple games?
No, I mean it's beyond me. What's his name? Dobbs wasn't going to beat you with his arm. The way that we did not, like you said, we were playing selfishly, not sticking into gaps, but rather just going up for the sack. I would assume that we don't do that again when we're playing a running QB. Hopefully we're smarter, but that can't happen.
Yeah, going back to my point though was the defense deserving the blame, but it seems like around here, as Justin's character alluded to, that Dak deserves all the blame, and we need to get a package and get him shipped out of here as soon as possible if we're serious about the Super Bowl. Fellas, is that an overreaction?
It is a big time overreaction.
Are you even asking the question and acknowledging that?
I'm not the best.
It goes back to there's too much QB love amongst NFL media and fans. And they have this idea of like what is a Super Bowl QB and what's not. And I promise you all of them would have said Joe Flacco and Eli Manning are not, but they have 3 Super Bowls between them. And Dak's obviously better than both those QBs. I just think it's an infatuation with Justin Herbert, the new and young and flashy. But whenever Dak does anything that's less than perfect, he's going to get crapped on. And one interception, and it's at the end of the game, mind you, but that was really a game that we ran everything. It's not like he lost the game, really. It was our own running. It was our own getting stopped in the red zone. I mean, that's kind of on us. It's not really the
it's a team thing, QB. Not an individual.
Yeah.
I mean, they were going to lose the game anyways at that point. The matter just it couldn't have ended in a dumber way for all the The people that don't
See,
like him that come out of the woodwork.
I think they still had a chance at that point.
The
Like,
moment that they picked up the Michael Gallup pass interference flag, the time was not on your side with how long it
so
took to get down there.
I know, but you still had the 2 minute warning, and you had all three timeouts, so you still had a chance. And going against Arizona, I would think that I still thought they could have won. But you're right. There were a couple of issues that happened before that I think kind of lost the game for them. And it was what I mentioned in the beginning. It was McCarthy getting greedy on fourth down, which is, I think, his first mistake all season. I remember so many times last two seasons, everybody was calling for him after week one. I mean, obviously because they lost too during those things. But yeah, this is the first mistake I see for him, mainly because it went away from the team's identity of let's just take our points and then we'll get the defense on the field, we'll make a stop, and then we'll go again. And then the defense, like we said, blow into coverage, but we still had a chance. And then Dak threw, I guess it's kind of a Dak interception where he's just pressing, and I guess he just gets tunnel vision. But to act like that's the problem on the entire team, and blaming the red zone failures just on him, I think is ridiculous considering the context of missing three starters on O-line and no run penetration down in the red zone.
And I gave McCarthy a lot of credit about play calling last week. Oh boy. This week it felt just extremely predictable. Every
Had
time
no
we got in
linemen.
the every time we got in the red zone, it was the same thing though, right? It was like two quick runs and then okay, now it's third and whatever. We'll just I don't know. And then we kept doing a lot of rollouts, limiting the options on the field too. So I wasn't impressed by the play calling this week.
Well, when you got three of the five linemen out, and then you don't find out about one of the three, your left tackle being out until game day, and then the other, I think all three outside. Actually, no, two of the three, the injuries happened before they could even have another practice. So that was what he was talking about in the earlier this week when he was talking about. I feel like we didn't prepare these guys enough. There was no time to prepare these. It was just unfortunate, dumb luck how the injuries happen. So I can't. I feel like if you're gonna like criticize his play calling, I feel like you got to also like have some understanding of like your hands are being kind of tied with the situation of what you can and cannot do
Well,
because of the.
I think it can be nuanced to say that yeah, he was limited in what he could coach and in the game plan and everything, but because of what was there, because of the plays called, I mean, we couldn't do anything with that either. The players were handcuffed with the calls too.
I'll be honest, I didn't really have a problem with McCarthy's play calling throughout the game. I just thought it was just it just had to do with your numbers and just missing some of your key players. Another thing to go back to Dak though too, dude, he was having like a really good game though too because he was using his legs. It looked like kind of Dak pre-injury in some of those drives, and that's the worst part about the loss is that they were moving the ball up and down the field, and that's why I had such a big problem with McCarthy going for it on fourth down instead of taking the points, just because the clock was dwindling away, and it just really killed momentum. I'm not a huge momentum believer, but I thought right there it killed momentum. Did you guys have a problem with him going for it on fourth?
I don't. I know some people might say it's an emotional reaction or
Yeah,
you feel
right
like you're
here.
going to. Yeah, sure. No, I don't because I'm not one to say go for it every single time. Uh, but I think they were realizing that 3 points every possession ain't going to be enough this week. And even though it ends up being tight, could work out. No, I don't blame him for going for it on that in that situation.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with it. It's one of those you're gonna need a touchdown anyways at some point in time, and it's one of those. Well, if this defense is what it's supposed to be, I'm gonna get the ball back with good field position because they're gonna make them. They're gonna stop them on their side of the field. So I mean, it just didn't work out. It is what it is. It's week 3. I'm not gonna cry over spilt milk and second guess every single thing when we don't really know
It's
what
just one
this
thing.
team is. You don't even know what this team is yet. It's so many. There's so many games left to play and so much season to go. So
All right, this man looking big picture on a single instance, but nevertheless, last thing that I have for the game was, hey, Gallup looking pretty good. The first 2 weeks he was pretty anonymous, but I liked what I saw from Gallup.
Yeah, it was good to see him again. I feel like I haven't really seen. Has he made a catch this year? I'm sure he has. I just been
Yeah.
Yeah,
missing
he
the
got
entire.
blown up in the Jets game, reaching for that first down.
Okay, yeah, but no, the route on the and I know the booth highlighted it. He cuts in real quick, picks up that first. Mike Gallup was moving smooth up there. I was glad to see it.
Justin, you were impressed with Tony Pollard. Quick shout out, or
I don't know.
any other players, I guess.
It's all good. We can go on.
All right. Yeah. All right. New England comes into town. I'll be honest. I don't really. People are going to be bitching about the red zone again. I think after this week, because I think it's going to be another tough day for the offense. I don't know what their health situation is going into it, but I think Bill Belichick will scheme ways to stop this offense. So it'll be a tough one again. I kind of expect it to be low scoring, but I think the defense will get right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it shouldn't look like it did last week. That's for sure. I do think that we may see something similar in that we drive down and then we struggle in the red zone again. Like you said, Justin, hopefully it was just a matter of we didn't have a lot of time to game plan. But I really think between the 20 and 20, you can't stop us in all that open field, even if you're Bill Belichick. It's the red zone that I worry about.
I don't think those linemen are going to play, even though it is only Wednesday. I've heard this story too many times to be holding out hope for those three to go. I feel like, to your point, it's going to be a similar game offensively, just because I don't think they're going to have the personnel available again, and they're going to have to roll out with all those young guns. So hopefully, I think I did see a note somewhere that they weren't comfortable putting Tyler Smith at left tackle because he was been practicing all week at left guard. And then obviously when Tyron got hurt, it was through on Saturday's practice. So hopefully this week, if Tyron can't go again, hopefully they flip Edoga and Tyler Smith to, shore up some of the discrepancies. We can't go a segment. We can't go a Patriots segment without talking about the man returning. The man got the 21 on his shirt right there, even though I think that's for like Dirk or something like that. But
it is.
How when Jerry does a tribute video, how drawn off size you think people are gonna get?
I don't. No, they shouldn't. He's not even on the team anymore. We got rid of him. They should not get drawn off sides.
Oh, they will.
This is what's gonna happen.
Well,
the crowd is gonna go absolutely nuts for Zeke. And then the next day, everyone's gonna be bitching about it. That's what's gonna happen.
Can you believe that they stood up and clapped for him?
He stole stole how much money? Blah 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 blah. Like bro, calm down.
And especially if we lose the game. If we lose that one, then they're just gonna talk about what a clown organization this is.
Bro, no, Zeke's gonna get a first down and do the feed me, and everyone's gonna go.
Dude, I will be up at my TV doing it in sync because, bro, that's the thing. Without Zeke, the first down celebrations on this team just ain't doing it for me. We need the second coming of the playmaker.
Like CDs?
He's on.
Oh yeah, but it's not as demonstrative. It's kind of subtle because there's no like full extension or like something gesture out. It's like all hunched in. So it's nice, but I need something a little bit more outlandish.
You want the Micah Crawl on offense?
No. Ew.
Hey, that celebration's growing on me. I don't mind it.
It's nasty, but nonetheless, they should. That's a That's a big franchise player returning home, bro. Like I know everyone hates him because of the contract, but the man's only 1,600 yards away from 10,000. That's a lot. There's not many running backs that could say that, especially in this era. That's not going to be achieved for a long, long time. I think him and Derrick Henry are going to be the last two to even sniff that.
I mean, you won't get any arguments from me as far as like the love for Zeke, but I do think in the Metroplex we might be the three biggest, likers of Zeke in general. So
It's not about like, it's about respect.
You think they show respect here? I think Dallas will probably at the game the fans will clap. At home the fans will complain that we're doing anything for Zeke, but no one should get super wound up over it.
Oh, they will.
Hey, who's on the call?
I think it's
it's Fox. Damn it! I was really hoping Tony Romo was on the game.
Are we getting Kevin and Greg?
Probably.
Move on. Next segment, please.
All right, boys. Around the NFL, and as the president of the Running Backs Matter Committee, I got to give a shout out to Mr. Whoop, Mr. Gig'em. I don't know how to say his first name, but A-Chain. Shout out to my boy.
You mispronounced his last name too, according to him.
Oh, true. That is true. But nevertheless, Devon A-Chain.
How do you pronounce it?
It's like Ashawn, Devon Ashawn or something like that.
Hey, there's no Mr. Devon Ashawn. Come on down here and receive your award that I got off screen. 200 yards. Impressive. What was also impressive, fellas, was a 70-point performance by an offense in Miami.
They're gonna get their ass whooped this week anyway. So all that goodwill is gonna go all the way down the toilet, bro. The only time they've beat Buffalo in the last 4 or 5 years, it took Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs getting heat poisoning or something last year in that Miami game. Yeah, when they were just delirious.
Yeah.
In that week 2 or week 3 game, or whatever that was. But this game is in Buffalo too, so no, 70 points. Them Jokers barely beat.
Can you focus on just the 70-point output?
No, because
no one's hyping up Dolphins. We're just saying, dude,
everyone's putting them in the number 1 as the power ranked team, bro.
No one here is though. All right, fair enough.
But go say what you guys say about them. I don't care about them. Go ahead.
We should have had the honorable make an appearance because that man was holding court right there. But Rudy.
I mean, we could call a special session right now. Just
no, I'm done with them. No. I don't even. The
man had banged his gavel and walked off.
I'm sending them across the street to the county court or to the district court. I don't want this case.
Okay. Well, first, let me comment on Ian's first point, which is running backs mattering and Devon Ashawn, which is a real fun name to say fast, Devon Ashawn.
True.
That man, and it's insane with the backfield split that they have there. The fact that they still get it to Tyreek in there and everyone else, that's ridiculous. Now, that's, of course, not going to happen every week, and it was against the Broncos. But I think you're underestimating the Dolphins a bit, Justin. I mean, we'll get to the spread them in a minute, but I definitely think they beat the Bills coming up.
Hang on. Wait. I got to go back to the courtroom and provide evidence from our from a text chain. I believe the first person to highlight that performance was one Mr. Justin Honore.
Then I saw who was the opponent, and I said, bro, you know what? Why am I surprised? Why am I not surprised?
Hey, what did we just say about the Cardinals? They're still trying to play the game, Justin. They're here to hit people.
If there was a team that was going to quit, which only way you're going to get to 70 points. Yeah, if the only way you're going to get to 70 points in an NFL game is if the other team quits. It would be that team with that coach and that quarterback.
Pretty shocking.
I don't know. It's a little surprising to, regardless of who it's against, because there have been some stinker of teams over the last 50 years that have not allowed 70 points. I think you got to give credit to the team that put it on them.
Not when they're gonna get pieced up this week. So I'm not, bro.
Oh, the argument I can't give
Have
you
you
credit
seen?
in
Have
week
you
3
seen?
because you may lose in week 4.
Bro, I'll give. Everyone's gonna be like, oh well, you, like to your earlier point, Ian, about the Cardinals or whatever. Like not like they're still trying and stuff like that. Cardinals ain't got really all that expectations, and they showed up the first 2 weeks and should have won both games. The Broncos the first 2 weeks, bro. They blew. I think they blew both games because they just stink. The Cardinals, it was just bad luck here and there, and just hey, what can you do? The wheels fell off. I feel like in all 3 games, the Broncos they might have quit in all 3. Is all I'm going to say.
In the first 2 games, the Broncos lost. They lost the first game by 1 point, and they lost the second game by 2 points.
But that was that fluke over what do you call it? The Hail Mary.
When they just
beaten.
Threw that up there and a prayer was answered
against Washington.
Yeah,
the Washington.
And I think like Washington, the second half just like roared back or something like that. They're like Denver
that's exactly right.
Came to some like fake first quarter lead or something like that.
Again, there have been 0-16 teams that haven't allowed 70 points. I just don't see how you give them no credit.
Let's wrap this up.
I don't care, bro. I don't care about that team.
Right.
Rudy's impressed. Justin unimpressed. Moving on. All right. Speaking of fake, though,
pooped its pants too many times for me to take them serious.
I did say that the Dolphins would beat the Bills. If you want to write that down, you can.
We'll get to that. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I did.
All right. Speaking of fake, though, let's mosey on down to the AFC South, where the Texans took out the fakest team I've ever seen in the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're so fake. They can't even get fake fans out there in the stadium, bro. That thing's empty because of how poo-poo they are.
They got like 2 London games in a row, but and it starts this
better
week.
Crowds in London than they will at home.
They're absolutely. I don't understand the hype. They were like a Noah Brown catch away from being like 5-10 last year, and then they just like ran off like a couple. Well, yeah, it was like I think they were like 5-8 at the time when they were playing the Cowboys or whatever, and we all saw what happened in that overtime. So yeah, like they were like a catch away from being 5-9 last year before they went on this fake run, and then the Chargers again. Talk about another team pooping that bed in the playoff game. So all this like hype about Jacksonville, never understood it.
Well, when you have the real Josh Allen on the team, I kind of get
it.
He couldn't stop CJ though.
I mean, it's kind of like
that boy good.
I think there's a media formula of like young, decent QB and good defense or solid defense. They're always going to project them to make
solid.
A leap. Jags defense?
No, that defense is it's bad, bro. That team can't get
also. Well, no, I mean, even when we played them last year, they weren't like a pushover or anything. Even though we should have,
even though we dropped 30 on them, but
yeah.
No, but I even though I'm kind of destroying your argument, Rudy, I do agree. I think the Jags have a decent defense, but that offense is just horrendous. But yeah, let's give some love to CJ Stroud. I mean, it's not getting his first W, right? That dude is like, he's in the record books for, passing stats as a rookie and whatnot. So, him, nice performance.
Tank Dell showing out for Houston once again.
And D'Amico Ryan getting a nice first W. So, really impressive for them. And I think they've been kind of close in all their games. They've been competitive.
I'm telling you, it might be them and the Titans that win that division.
Well, the Titans just got slapped silly by the Browns, but we don't really got to waste time.
You can't. I mean, it's the Titans, bro. You know it's going to be ugly. It's going to be an ugly brand of football the whole way. But when you look up at the end of the day, you're going to be like, man, they're still here. So you can never. They're like roaches, bro. You can't expect them to just die off of one bad performance.
The Browns aren't bad, man. They're not a bad team. They're solid right now.
Yeah, I gotta agree. That defense with Jim Schwartz at the helm and whoop.
And it seems like it doesn't matter the running back there. Ford had a great game too. So they're moving. I mean, yeah. What
do you have do you have a good fantasy game?
All right, let's not bog down on that. But so I don't know. Let's just say their defense is pretty scary. Even though Deshaun be trying to give the game away, the defense won't let him. But I mean, that was an impressive performance, and they'll be playing the Ravens this week.
Yeah, bro, he had 18 yards rushing.
All right, Deshaun. I don't care.
No, Ford, but go ahead, Ian.
I will not stand as the president of the Running Backs Matter Committee. I will not take the slander on this.
No, because I'm preserving Nick Chubb's legacy, bro. Y'all gonna try to replace this man after one performance, so I'm holding Rudy accountable.
Ford had 106 yards
against the Titans.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is
And that was off. That was off like one. That was like an 80-yard, like a 70-yard run. That don't count.
It doesn't.
All right.
He scored a touchdown.
You can't even get the stat right. It's like
he scored a touchdown. The one thing I wish we did the entire week.
Go ahead.
Don't give me that.
Like,
good Lord. All right. Why is this coming undone in the AFC over the Titans and Browns? Good Lord. But speaking of the Browns' future opponent, the Ravens, I think last season we kept talking about how unserious the Ravens are. Now, half of that has to do with the injury crisis that they're going through, which, again, is every season I feel like we say that. But, my goodness, that team did not want to win at all against the Indianapolis Colts. Shame on them, dude. Shame on them.
Ian, what are you talking about? That's every Ravens game ever.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that is pretty true. When they played the Texans, I think week 1, they did not. They're like, 20 points. That should be good enough. Let's just start messing around. But so it's kind of funny because it started off with like a perfect drive to start the game. Then they went, stupid fumble here, stupid fumble there. And then Minshew said, "Hey, let me Arlovsky you guys some points." And then like, all right, game over. We should win. I don't know what happened. Some others, I think they turned the ball over again, and the Colts got a field goal. Overtime happens. They somehow trade possession like 3 times in overtime, and they still can't win, bro. And Justin Tucker said, "You know what? Let me miss a field goal." I think that happened during the regular.
That happened in regulation, I think.
Yeah, that happened in regulation. But like, just everything was just like, nah, let's just not win. Let's just make it as difficult as possible. But we did get a nice tweet from Lamar Jackson with the hands up, just in frustration.
Bro, did you see that that non-pass interference that he couldn't believe?
Overtime? Yeah, the one in overtime, that was brutal.
Lamar was just stunned. It's one of those where the camera just pans in on him, zoomed in, and he's just
Yeah, that was one of the more egregious PIs that I've seen in a minute. That was bad.
Wait, it was a missed PI for the Ravens?
I think it was on fourth down. Yeah.
And I think they were like Gay goes on to kick the game-winning field goal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they were like either at midfield or like at their own 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolute silliness by that team, but it will be interesting.
That's their MO, bro. They're going to be competitive. It's like what they'll do is I feel like they kind of like they'll win comfortably against like the good teams if they're healthy. But then when it comes to these like weird fluky these weird one-off teams that aren't like the best, they'll be finding every which way to do something stupid. Just absolutely dumb at the end of the game.
100%. I hope you're true because I got a bad feeling about this Browns game. But shout out to Action
they'll
Jackson.
Be all right.
100 rushing yards for Action Jackson. So shout out to a fake quarterback who's a running back, but also a good quarterback. All right. Let's mosey on up to, well, I guess adjacent to Wisconsin, where Jordan Love had a lovely performance in the fourth quarter, might I add, to come back down 17 in the fourth and get a nice W. The man was pretty poo-poo all game, but he hardened when it mattered and got a nice victory against a. Speaking of the Saints, man, they cannot get any luck. Derek Carr specifically.
That's not funny.
I mean, it is the passion of the car. So, man, going through all the toughest trials and tribulations.
I mean, it's part of being a Christian. They say, we're going through suffering here, and that's what Derek Carr's experiencing. But it's all for, a bigger purpose. Now, during that game, and I know it was 17-0 when Derek Carr got hurt, correct?
Yes.
Somewhere around there.
So, I mean, I'm not going to pretend that they make that comeback if he's healthy, but, I mean, Jordan Love doesn't play against the New Orleans offense. He can only play the New Orleans defense. And he orchestrated that bad boy beautifully, actually.
Let me say this, though. Okay. Derek Carr was not moving the ball up and down the field. They got 17 points off of a punt return for a touchdown, I believe.
It was like a kick.
Shaheed returned that punt, but I mean, a field goal wins them that game. They only need a field goal in the entire half.
They did get into field goal range, I think, and the guy missed it.
They missed the last second field goal.
Yeah. So Jameis Winston, I mean, their quarterback play isn't spectacular. I mean, we saw them against Carolina. They weren't lining up the scoreboard, but if you're given a chance, it was nice to see Jordan Love take it. And also, Green Bay was moving up and down the field. They just kind of kept pooping it around the 30.
I'm telling you, man. As much as everyone kept shitting on him when our boy Ayahuasca was there, I'm happy to see this man put it together and look like something that's going to be something special. Especially that, what was that 2-point conversion that he made? Where he, didn't he, juke Demario Davis or something? And then stretch it over the goal. I don't know if it was Demario Davis. But the fact of the matter is, I feel like that man looking like shades of the other quarterbacks out there in Green Bay. He's probably the off-brand version of them. Their games aren't really all that similar. But in the sense that, he got that moxie. And I don't know, just watching them play through these 3 games, it's one of those, this kid's got something. And I think Green Bay is going to be in good hands for years to come, especially if he carries this momentum going forward the whole rest of the way.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe, like you said, the off-brand version or whatever. I was at a game in Lambeau. My dad and I went, and the Packers were down to the Bears by, I don't remember if it was 21. It's somewhere in that range. Rodgers injured. Rodgers comes back and orchestrates the comeback. Crowd goes crazy. And you can see why everyone in Wisconsin loves this man. And performances like that, what Jordan Love just did in Lambeau, I know the people in that stadium were going crazy. And that's a real strong community type team. So if they're welcoming him into the community like that, and he's showing out like that, I mean, it could be something for years to come.
Yeah, big shoes to fill. So it was nice to see him get his first win in front of the home crowd for that season.
I think
nice.
Aren't they 2-1?
They lost.
Oh no! No! I meant the first win at home.
Oh, okay.
That's what I meant. And Justin, you said moxie. I don't think he has that though. He seems very poised to control. While Brett Favre,
I feel like that is moxie. I feel like that is moxie. I'm gonna give this man the ball, and it's bro, bring me back. I feel like he showed that this past week.
It's definitely different to what we're used to with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. But, we'll see how this man blossoms throughout the season. And maybe he will get to – because when I was watching him, it just seemed level-headed and poised. But, maybe that is just a different interpretation of a way to show it, like you said. So
I don't think, moxie has to be, arrogant and,
I always thought it was, braggadocious. Not arrogant.
I feel like moxie can be that. I feel like moxie could also be poised. I feel like moxie is just confidence. And
yeah, I thought moxie was more swag related, but I actually Googled it just to see, and it's a force of character, determination, or nerve.
And
they
I feel
showed
like
that. They showed nerve.
And I feel like this whole year, I mean, granted, it's been 3 games, but as much shit as he's been getting the past like 4 years or whatever, that man is like looked really prepared and really ready for the moment, given the small sample size. So I can only but applaud the man and be proud of him, even I don't know him. But like, it is nice. Everyone always likes to talk about like cool stories in sports. I think that's pretty cool, given all what he had to put up with in his brief time within the NFL.
Well, he will be in prime time tomorrow, taking on the Lions. Mm-hmm. So that will be a nice matchup to see him and the Goof go head to head. But real quickly, two teams that do not have any moxie or any confidence is the Minnesota Vikings and the LA Chargers. 2 teams void of
flag
hope. Oh, where am I wrong?
The Vikings got some bravado, bro. They're entertaining.
All right, maybe my dictionary just ain't big enough to handle this conversation, and let's just dumb it down real quickly for myself because, like, their performance is just atrocious. Let me just say that.
Well, and the thing too is it's the Chargers, like the team that tries to lose every game as well. You have Kirk Cousins on noon. Justin, this is the only time that he dominates.
Kirk played well.
Oh yeah, this is his window.
Kirk played well though. I don't know why y'all blaming Kirk.
No, but he failed like the
no one specifically
Hawkinson failed.
That him. He was the first player I said.
That man Kirk was hooping Sunday.
Put up like 17 points.
Bro, he did
throw for like 303 touchdowns. Yeah, 367 and 3 touchdowns.
And like I feel like wasn't it going to be the game winner? That got
but he had 2 chances in the fourth quarter to get the game winner, and both times they failed because the other team, Brandon Staley.
I'm not watching Vikings games for wins. I'm watching it for stats.
All right.
And Justin Jefferson,
okay,
Kirk
how
Cousins,
are you gonna hate on people looking at like players for fantasy points, but you're just looking for stats? You're the same person.
Because it's so cool. It's so cool to see. It's so cool to see Justin. It's some nice aesthetics. Okay. It's not so much about like fantasy or anything like that. It's kind of cool to see Kirk Cousins throw to Justin Jefferson every week. When they're on, I mean, I could care less about them old men that they got in the secondary that blowing coverage left and right.
That's the biggest foul for me.
It's just kind of
like
cool
I'm not even trying to poo-poo Kirk. I'm not even trying to like stink on Kirk because like I do like him and like we just had a love conversation. So I feel like Kirk is the guy. Like he's easy to support when everyone hates him. But let's look at the other team. Brandon Staley going for it on 4th down. Justin, is that moxie and bravado?
No, I already it's already well established how I feel about Brandon Staley on this podcast. That man might as well just turn in his facility keys if they didn't make that, or if they lost that game on Sunday. That man was dead man walking, but he lives again. Who do they have this week?
Vamp, and I will get you the answer.
But regardless, I mean, that team.
Well, okay. So
I don't care how many points that they put up. They're so bad. Like,
hang on, wait. The entire AFC West might be in trouble because Brandon Staley and his Chargers are taking on the Raiders and that clown. I forgot his name, but
Daniels.
Yes, they're taking on that clown over there. So and then we also have Sean Payton clowning. So
it's a division full of clowns. Is that?
Yes, dude. So we're about to get. I don't know. I feel like we're targeting Staley, but I think. I can't remember his name. McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels.
Yes, that dude should also be on the DEFCON 1 list because
he doesn't have to worry.
Yeah,
they were going to fire him, but they don't have enough cash to do so.
Go talk to.
He is the most secure job in the NFL.
Go talk to Junior, bro, that owns the team. That man made a
spending all his money on bowl cuts.
You think he would have some liquidity by now since they moved to Vegas? but
Didn't even pay for like what is it, like 70% of the stadium or whatever?
dude, especially if how many people that probably just travel to that stadium
I'm saying.
still. Like I'm sure there's teams that haven't even played at that stadium. How has he not made enough liquid money? Doesn't he own the Aces too? They're gonna win. They're
That I
going
don't
back to back
know.
champs.
I don't know if he owns the Aces, but I will say it is a pretty big embarrassment. Normally, when you're a historical NFL team, your team is just going to be high valued, and you should be liquid, somewhat liquid. But he almost reminds me of, and I guess a less offensive Dan Snyder, just in the fact that he's just losing
Oh,
money.
don't go that
Different
far.
different
No,
reasons.
Rudy, that man Dan Snyder was making money, bro. He was just
I
an
mean,
embarrassment
they can't help but
and a
the value
deviant.
of their franchise go up. Don't get me wrong, but they could make so much more with someone else in charge of that franchise. All right, y'all. It is that time of the week where we do the weekly pick'ems. But before we go into that, Ian, why don't you tell us how we did last week?
I certainly will because, well, let's just, yeah. Tying, people, it was short lived. Rudy's reign of terror was very short lived.
Are we surprised?
Terror.
Terror. Rudy's, yeah, well, whatever. Reign of victory, whatever. The parade that he threw himself for week 2 has come crashing down. But fortunately, we have another week to get that right, Rudy. But it's not all bad because you tied Justin with 8 wins last week, which is a pretty healthy margin going against the spread, I feel like. But your boy finished on top with 10 wins. So, Rudy, you are now trailing me by 1. And Justin, you are in last place.
Okay.
Take it away, Woozy.
By how many points?
I think it's me one ahead of Rudy, and Rudy's 1 ahead of you.
Oh, man, it's so early. It's not even funny.
All right, folks. Let's go ahead and change that. We're going to start with Thursday Night Football with the Detroit Lions traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers. The spread is a 1.5 point favorite towards the Lions. So Packers plus 1.5.
This man said it the most confusing way.
I confused myself. I hate that I said that. My fault.
Give me the pack.
You said minus 1.5 for the Lions. I will take the Packers. Although I like Goof, but
yeah, in Lambeau, clean sweep for Green Bay there.
That's a crazy line, bro. That should be a lock of the week.
And moving on, we've got the Falcons taking on the Jags, where the Jags are a 3-point favorite over the Falcons.
In London?
Got there. In London.
Oof.
Early kickoff.
Surely the Jacksonville Jaguars can't lose this game because Desmond Ridder, boy. I'll take Jacksonville.
Jags minus 3.
Yeah, give me the home team.
Yeah. You know what? Give me the Falcons. I'll take that.
Yikes.
Plus 3. I'll believe in them.
Although, if this does happen, that's going to be hilarious to talk about. Which I probably won't even watch that game. Let's be honest. It's on another streaming service too. Like,
this man's face is so upset.
Doggone, bro. Isn't it on like NFL Plus or something like that? Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And
Rudy,
moving on to America. The Dolphins are traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills, where the Bills are a 3-point favorite. Fellas, who do you got?
Bro, see, I told you, Rudy, Vegas knows what they're doing. There's a reason why the Bills are favorite over the supposed.
It's a minus 3
team in the league.
Yeah,
I know it's given points because of the home team. But, the way everybody be talking about, oh, man, they're going to embarrass everybody this year. The Miami Dolphins, Tua's on a revenge. Tua and McDaniel are on a revenge tour. Yeah, all right, bro. Give me the team that always be piecing that team up in recent memory. Give me the Bills.
The biggest question is, will Josh Allen give his own team the piece and just throw the game away. But since it's in Buffalo, I will take the Bills.
All right, I will take the Dolphins there.
Attaboy. I like to see that.
And moving on, we have the Vikings taking on the Panthers. The Panthers are a 4-point underdog to the Vikings. Who do y'all got there?
Give me Kirk. Panthers got a better chance if Andy Dalton plays. Let's be honest.
Is he starting?
I think Bryce Young is still hurt.
Oh wow. I have no clue about the Panthers, but
They're not
yeah,
good.
I'll take Kirk.
Clean sweep there. Vikings for me.
Plus
Moving
4,
on.
right? For Panthers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Moving on to quite the matchup. We've got the Denver Broncos traveling to Chicago to take on the Bears. The Bears are a 3.5-point underdog to the Broncos at home. Fellas, who you got?
I think I've taken the Bears several times, but I'm going to ride with them again. Give me the Bears.
Give me the Broncos.
Give me the Bears. Oh, God, what a disaster that is. Okay, moving on. The Ravens are traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Browns are favored by 3 points. Fellas, who you got?
Give me the Ravens. Lamar knows what to do in division games. He always shows up.
Man, I really want to take my boy Action Jackson, but that Browns defense at home, the Ravens' unseriousness and the injury crisis. Give me the Browns.
Browns for me as well.
The injury crisis isn't as serious as the Ravens' unseriousness. So,
well, yeah, they always come to play when it comes to the AFC North. Unserious
right.
or not.
So it cancels out, but then I guess that remains the injury crisis. So I guess that trumps it. So, Rudy, you took the Browns as well, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and moving on. We've got the Steelers traveling to Houston to take on the Texans, where the Texans are a 3-point underdog. Who do you got?
Where is this? Pittsburgh?
Houston.
Oh.
Bro, give me Houston. I'm going to take Houston on this one.
Let's go with Stroud.
It's a clean sweep for the Texans.
Ooh.
All right. Now we've got the LA Rams traveling to Indy to take on the Colts, where it is a pick'em. A straight up pick'em. Who do y'all got?
Give me the... Nah, Cup not back yet. Give me the Rams, though.
Yeah, I'll take the Rams.
All right. I'll take the Colts.
All right. Hey,
give me the Colts.
What does pick mean?
It means it doesn't matter. Up. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you still want the Rams straight up?
Yeah.
Okay. And moving on, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Saints in New Orleans. The Saints are a 3-point favorite. Fellas, who do you got?
Give me New Orleans. That Tampa Bay defense, man. That thing evaporated quick.
But they got nobody to defend, bro. Nobody can throw the ball in New Orleans or get open.
Chris Olave can. And if Carlton
I forgot. I disrespected
myself. You forgot about it's Hispanic Heritage Month too, Ian. Like,
not when that game's taking place, but dang, I'm at a crossroads with either AA Whoop or.
Actually, it still will be because Hispanic Heritage Month starts in the middle of the month.
Ayo.
Yeah, so Olave got a couple more weeks in them. The honor.
In that case, under this new information that has just been handed down to me, I will take the Saints.
Okay, I'm gonna go Tampa.
Yeah, Carlton not healthy anymore, and we saw that man Devin White turned down 6 points because of a groin. So
All right. Moving on to an NFC East matchup, we've got the Commanders traveling to Philly to take on the Eagles, where the Eagles are an 8-point favorite. Fellas, who do you got?
give me the Commanders the cover. The division means more. They don't just give up 8 points in double digits.
Yeah, I'll take the Commanders as well.
Yeah, I won't. I will. I'll take Philly there. I'll take Philly to cover that. Sorry, Eric Bieniemy. Moving on, we've got in the final matchup at noon. The Bengals are I'm struggling. The Bengals are traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans, where the Titans are a 2.5 point underdog. Who do y'all got?
Oh man. Give me the Titans, bro. Them boys are good. There's got to be a sack prop too for them boys. Cuz it's going to get ugly, bro. Especially with the way the Bengals been playing on offense.
What was the line?
Ian?
2.5.
3.5. Or 2.5. Apologies. 2.5. Plus 2.5 to the Titans.
Okay. Yeah, give me the Titans.
Clean sweep for Tennessee there. Don't let us down, boys. Well, I guess it doesn't make a difference if you do. Vegas is traveling the Raiders are traveling to LA to take on the Chargers, where the Chargers are 5.5 point favorites. Fellas, who do you got?
The Chargers. Ugh. It hurts saying that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but the only dumpster fire in that division, I don't know. The Raiders are terrible. Give me the Chargers.
Clean sweep for the LA Chargers. Now, moving on to them boys. We've got the Patriots coming to Dallas. The Cowboys are a 7-point favorite.
That's
Fellas, what's
Damn.
going to happen?
Yeah, that's too many points. Give me the Pats.
Give me the Patriots to cover.
It's a clean sweep for the New England Patriots. Moving on, we've got the team we just played, the Cardinals, and they'll be traveling to San Francisco, where the 49ers are a 14-point favorite.
Oh, my goodness. No, absolutely not, bro.
2 full touchdowns. Fellas, who you got?
Give me the Cardinals to cover.
Yep.
Last division opponent them boys played, they barely beat the Rams, so no.
This is a tough one because I feel like after they just beat us, no one's going to just roll over on them. Let me go ahead and go with the Cardinals.
Dude, if it gets to 14 points, it's going to be on some fluky, not fluky. It's going to be on some, we need a touchdown to really seal the deal to put this game out of reach, the last possession. There's no way.
Hands that tight.
There's no way that game is going to be a blowout, especially
14 is extremely high. That's probably the highest line I've seen in as far as against the spread.
Even if the Cowboys go ahead, Ian.
I was just going to say, if I could bring it back to the Cowboys, San Fran will cover. And then the media would be like, "See, this is what a good team does to a terrible team." And then it's just gonna be
even if the Cardinals didn't beat the Cowboys last week, I still would say this, especially with it being the NFC West game. Say what you want about how bad teams are or whatever you feel about them. When it comes to the division opponents, they at least cover. Especially if it's gonna be that big of a spread. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. With this Cowboy karma, I'm very tempted to take the Niners, but I'll stick with my pick.
Okay, so everyone's got the Cardinals there.
Yeah.
And now Sunday Night Football, where we have the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to the Meadowlands to take on the Jets, where the Jets are a 9.5 point underdog.
Bro, how did the Jets get more leeway than the Cardinals as far as a spread? Is it because they're at home?
I honestly think the Cardinals. Actually, no, I don't know. Actually, I was gonna say the Cardinals beating us affects it, but no, it'd go the opposite direction. Okay. Anyway, Jets plus 9.5. Who do y'all got?
I'll take the Chiefs.
Yeah, give me the Kansas City, bro. They about ready to send Josh. They're about ready to send Zach Wilson to the guillotine.
Hey, for real though, last week, Justin, you said that everyone stick with that man.
Oh well, see, I said the organization was going to stick with that man. The defense is apparently starting a mutiny and a revolution to get that man out of there that quickly. Like
that ain't no surprise to me.
Bro, I didn't know you could openly hate a teammate that bad that quickly. Like,
didn't they do that last year, bro? They were just
okay,
on,
but like that, it took until like week 6 or something, like week 6 or 7 for that to happen.
That shit just don't go away next season.
Well, and also, I mean, when you're the subject of Hard Knocks and everyone's giving you all this hype, now they're like trying to save face, just trying not to be a disaster. So yeah, I mean, I get it.
Bro, they hate him. They
hated him last year, but yeah,
bro, no, this is bad. This is bad. Like,
sure. And lastly,
Rudy, we didn't get your pick.
Oh, Chiefs. Sorry, Chiefs. And lastly, Monday Night Football. This week we only have one Monday night matchup.
Goodness, bro.
We've got the Seahawks also traveling to the Meadowlands to take on the Giants.
What the hell are they doing, man?
Bro, that turf is going to be disgusting.
For real.
I mean, they couldn't get it right last week with the Jets. There's paint all over the place. Let me go ahead. Oh, sorry, and it's a pick'em.
Oh,
fellas,
who you got? Give me the Seattle Seahawks.
I'll take the Giants at home. Just mix it up a little bit. Yeah.
Anything else?
Nah.
Hey,